I had been searching the internet for crazy ideas, and this caught my attention. The UK's Loneliest House. My first impressions were, why is it lonely? And where is it?
You really don't want to stay in there. It could have been lived in by a witch. It's not pretty.
I loaded up the car for a long road trip, packing everything I could possibly think of, and made my way to collect the only person I could imagine that would join me on this wild adventure. Package has been picked up.
I don't know what I'm in for. I don't know what Richard's put me through, but it's gonna be a good time, innit, bro?
It's gonna be awesome. We've got 2 hours, 44 minutes on the navigation. Let's hit the road.
Hit the road, Jack.
We have made it 3 hours later. We are at the ocean. But this is not the end of the journey. We're going into the hotel. We've got another hour to go in the morning. We'll see you then. As our reality started to sink in, we were getting more and more nervous for what lies ahead of us. First destination has been reached, taking Riley on his first outback adventure, but unfortunately the car, we have had to abandon it at the side of the road in the middle of nowhere, and we're just starting to get stuck in the mud. I don't think the reality has quite kicked in yet for spending the night at England's loneliest house.
There's nothing. There's Shawns, loads of sheep everywhere, nothing else. Absolutely not a person in sight.
Last night it was super cold. It went down to 4 degrees and we was in a hotel and we was in the town. Tonight we're out here in the wilderness, nothing around, no wind blockage, just raw coldness. We're finding lots of pieces of bone just laying in the ground. It's not a very good sign knowing we're going to be out here all on our own. Riley's starting to show signs of fear.
Of course not. Look, this is a nice bit of lamb that was once on air. Somebody's obviously come and dropped it.
We must have dropped it.
Yeah.
Just dropped a random lamb bone out in the field, as you do.
This is what's going to keep us hydrated for the next 24 hours. So we've got to like it. We have no other choice. I'm going to try and get the magic shot, but this is stupidly deep. I mean, I don't want to go anywhere near the edge of this, but we've got to get a shot and see what's actually down there.
In all seriousness, I would just like to know whose idea over 100 years ago was it to build a house all the way out here on its own with nothing surrounding it whatsoever. How did they even get the materials out here? The poor horses, if that's what they used, over these mountains, all these bumps. It must have been on some kind of carriage, carting them up and down, up and down. And then once you've got there, imagine if you realised you had actually forgot something and you've got to go all the way back. Just walking around here, you don't really get a gauge for the sheer size of this viaduct. Look all the way up here.
It's now just dawned on me how big these pillars actually are.
Feels like it's never ending. I honestly really don't know why they built a house all the way out here. No wonder it has been for sale for over 20 years and it's not had one person interested in it. I think we have found the house we've been looking for. Everything here is just all boarded up, windows broken. I don't know how long it's been in this condition for. There is this truck that has just been left here to rot. And this van, which has got weeds growing around it. Just look at the state of that. Everything here has just been left for so many years. Just look at this house. Why would you build this lonely house right here in the middle of nowhere? And the rain is just starting now, which is not good for our night.
Welcome to my shed. Do you want some tools? From 1977.
Because all the windows are boarded up, we clearly can't gain entry to the house. So we have decided to make camp here, like the exact same as spending a night inside. We're going to be camping here next to the UK's loneliest house. The UK's loneliest house.
Well, here we are then for the night.
This is inside the tent.
Welcome to my humble abode. We have pillow, red sleeping bag for me and Richard if he gets lucky, orange sleeping bag for Richard and then me if I get lucky. And over here we've got our back door for when we open it up in the morning and see nobody, because there's nobody here.
And that is how we are going to be spending our night at the UK's loneliest house. Good night.
Good night.
Just to add to our experience even more, as if it wasn't scary enough, cold enough and lonely enough, it is now wet and raining. Listen to that. It is getting worse and worse as the time goes on. Are you feeling lonely?
No, I've got the best man beside me, so we're going to have lots of cuddles and we won't get lonely in here. Good night, bro.
Good night, Riley. I'm absolutely exhausted. My legs are killing me from all of those miles we have walked today just to get here to this spot to experience this. This is the only place in the whole in England you can get this experience, and we're doing it.
It's starting to get a little bit fresh now, I'm not going to lie. I was pretty warm earlier, I went out to get the toilet.
This is how dark it is. It's going to the furthest point of the garden wall.
Come back and now it's, yeah, I'm wrapping up a bit more.
We'll see you in the morning. Good night. We have survived our night at the UK's loneliest house. That has got to have been one of the awfulest nights of my life. It is freezing in here. It is so cold, the floor is starting to get damp, the camera's starting to steam up. The underside of this pillow is absolutely soaked. Towards the end of the night it just started seeping through to the top, so even the side of my face is getting wet. Let's get outside. Oh. We have survived. We have made it. One whole night at the loneliest house in England. Yes, we've done it. Come on, bud. I'm just still deciding of what type of person it takes to actually live out here in the middle of nowhere with our last dregs of river water. Real camping. We have lasted a whole night here. Tent is soaking. We are freezing. My fingers are numb. But today is a much glorious day, and we lasted the whole night here at this house. It was quite lonely, to be honest, during the middle of the night. I can see why they call it the loneliest house, because there is just no one around. We've still not seen anyone since we left the car.
You can't hear a thing, it's deadly silent.
But we have made it. Tent's all packed up. Mission was a great success. So we're leaving the house back in a lonelier state. We're all packed up and we're off. See you next time, Loneliest House.
You really don't want to stay in there. Could have been lived in by a witch. It's not pretty.